All right. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, so we are back. Man, listen, L is killing shit. So if you didn't catch part one, you got to go catch part one. But we are live right now, uh, talking with my man LJ. Let's bring LJ on. What's up, L?
What up, man?
Man, we just was on fire, man. But we left off around an area of our city, right? That house
Yeah.
the block and the boys club. So just like when you hit on that subject, I was kind of like, you know what, I got a lot to talk on that subject. So hold on real quick. Let's regroup real quick because I'm gonna say one name and then you tell me how you feel.
Okay.
Mr. Forrest.
Mr. Forrest was he was the shit.
He was
He was
the
the
shit.
shit.
That's what I say, man. Everybody I ever talk to, I say Mr. Forrest, they be like, man, Mr. Forrest, Mr. Ford, like he was just that dude, man. He was a guy that was what in the Air Force or something like that, or was he a Marine? But he was a no nonsense dude. He was in the service, right?
Yeah.
And he was for real. And one thing about that man word is what he said. It was right. It ain't you couldn't never be like, oh, he trying to play me. Nah, he right. He right. And as a little kid, you got to be like, nah, I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
No
I tell
doubt.
you, I tell you one story about Mr. Forrest. I'm a little shorty. I can't be 9, 10 maybe. And niggas riding the bench. You got somebody that fucked up on bumper pool and they over there riding the bench. Mr. Ford's just sitting there surveying the whole shit. Oh, nigga, ride the pine. You got to go. What you got going? So at some point he just chilling. Mr. Forrest ain't saying nothing. We chilling. Everybody playing games and shit. And so I so happen to be walking to the old gym. So I'm going upstairs, and for some reason piece of trash was on the floor, and I lean over, pick up the trash, right, and throw it in the trash. And this man stops the whole club. All right, hey, blows whistle. Hey, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, calm down real quick. Hey, let me tell y'all something real quick. Check this out. He say, this young man right here, because he blow the whistle. I'm like, damn, I'm on the bench. I done fucked. I don't know what I did, but I did. This little motherfucker going to the bench. Like I knew it was bad. Whatever it was bad. I knew it was over for me. So he said, come here. He pulled me over here. He said, this young man right here, I sat and watched 35 minutes. And not one of y'all picked up this piece of trash on the floor. This man picked up this piece of trash on the floor. I'm going to buy him a bag of chips. Now, a bag of chips. Hold on, nigga.
Celebrate.
Celebrate, man. We done got the little free lunch for the day. I'm already happy about that, but you get a bag of chips out the deal. What? Nigga. So for the rest of my life, and I don't know even why I picked up the trash that day, but for the rest of my life, I'm one of those type of people. Funniest thing about the planet, at my home, I'm a little messy. But if I'm out in the public and I see some trash that's just, come on, man, pick this shit up, y'all. Like, why is this shit just in the middle of the road, man? Get that shit up. Like,
Oh, shit.
to this day, I'm like that because of that man influence, man. So how, tell anybody, you got any stories about Mr. Forrest or just the club?
Man, the club in general, man. I go back to Mr. Culliver. That really sparked it. And then you go to Mr. Forrest. And then you go to like Melvin, George. Then you go to Noob.
Yep.
I mean, all the way up until you get to Mr. Allen. Right there, that's a different story. I wasn't a fan of Mr. Allen, you know what I mean?
But, and look, let me give you this too. And the funny that you go there. Listen, Mr. Allen, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate him. But it was a little bumpy there because eventually I got kicked out the club. And I got kicked out the club by Mr. Allen. And I got kicked out of the club because I was trying to sell dope on the block. So this is all gonna come together.
Okay, well, yeah.
Right. So look, I'm out on the block, task force run up. I run, I'm jumping backyards, all kind of this, that, and the other. Thought I got away. Eventually I got caught. So the nigga say, man, what is you doing? You young as hell. Why the hell is you out here? Because, you know, at that time, I got to sneak on the block because Al and them ain't going to let me on the block. I ain't allowed to actually stand over here for real. So I got to kind of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, right? So meanwhile, I get caught. The dude, man, what is you doing? I said, well, I was on my way to Boys Club. Y'all jumped out on me. However, I got a baggie with no dope in it, some residue. I don't even know how. See, this is when you first selling drugs and don't know what the hell you doing. How you got just anonymous bags in your pocket of substance and like, nigga, you got to be more careful, right? So I couldn't be more than I couldn't be more than like maybe 11 or maybe 12, maybe 12. But so I'm still a little dude to go to the club for real. If I'm honest about myself, right? I ain't even in the streets for real. I'm trying to, but you know what I'm saying? The nigga took me over to the club. Told Mr. Allen a story. He said he was out there. I think he was trying to sell dope. He didn't have no dope, but he got this baggie with residue in it. So Mr. Allen said, all right, I'll take care of it. So he released me to Mr. Allen. Good. He ain't take me to jail or nothing. Mr. Allen said you got two choices. He said, one, you leave the club and never come back again. Or two, I call your mama and tell her what happened. And I picked, don't call my mama, motherfucker. Don't call my mama. So he kicked me out the club and shit. So that's my Mr. Allen story. So I'm kind of mad about that for real, because I would have still been going to the club, but not really, because if I'm honest, I was on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That was gonna happen again. So I can't really be mad at him.
But see, here's my thing though with Mr. Allen. I don't like that option. I don't like the options he gave.
That's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt.
You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like dude wasn't in touch with what we was going through growing up in Youngstown. I felt like he was totally not in touch with who we were.
Yep.
Them options he gave you, of course you're gonna take that option.
Right.
Was it the best option? Not necessarily.
No.
How you gonna even toss up you can leave the club forever? What? Motherfucker, this is what you say, Mr. Allen. Yo, what's your phone number? I'm about to call your moms. We're going to take care of this.
Right.
And we can go from there.
Right. That's true. Period. That's a possible thing. Yep.
How you going to put that up to you?
Yep. That's true.
At that age.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't a fan of Mr. Allen, yo.
And that's how I felt about exactly what that's exactly where I felt looking back on it. At the time, I'm like, cool, I ain't getting in trouble. But looking back on all the decisions that was made after that, like, that would have probably been better for me, as for him to just, do the mature adult thing to do. Hey, you gotta go talk to your mom. We're gonna have to settle this. So yeah, I feel the same. Yeah. All right, but I don't want to get dark. So bring back to the light.
No doubt.
Let's switch it up a little bit. So there was a topic you wanted to talk about. The Urban Warriors.
Yeah. Gilbert and them dudes, man. Like I was saying, them dudes, that changed my life, man. It took me from just.
So real quick, tell me a little bit about it, fill me in more, and then elaborate on it for people who may view and what I'm saying, want to know what is this about the Urban Warriors.
How about I'm gonna paint a picture for you. I'm young, I'm a kid, maybe 13, 12, somewhere in there, and my bedroom in the house, the window of it, I can look out my window and see the boys club. So that's the direction that my room faced, right? And so, like I said, they lived maybe 3 houses down from the boys club, but on the other side of the street, and so
now you talking about on Glenhaven or Oak Hill?
Glenhaven.
That's just to make sure.
Right.
All right.
So you got Evergreen, you got Oak Hill, and then you got Glenhaven. So I walk through my backyard, I'm on Glenhaven.
Got you.
All right. So, just imagine you in there and you just hear and you like hip hop. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you got that vibe like, damn, what is this new shit that we hearing? And you hear like just the bass tones of it because you can't recognize the songs because it's far away, but it's in the distance. So you walk through the backyard, and as you getting through the backyard, it started to get clearer and clearer. It's like the shit was calling me. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm walking past the boys clubs, clearer and clearer and clearer. And these dudes is out there on the porch with their system set up, 2 turntables, speakers up, and they just banging out music. I'm like, what's going on?
Wow.
I don't know, but this shit has got me.
Right.
I was locked in at that point, man. I was locked in at that point. I never had an opportunity to like get to know them dudes, but the impression that they put on me just from what they was doing, they're the reason why I started DJing out the back of my truck on Evergreen. They used to call it FM 119 because of the address.
That shit was crazy. That was dope.
I got that shit from them, just playing out for no apparent reason. Just today, I'm gonna pull out this shit and I'm playing. I got that from them, man. Them cats changed my life, along with Ross and Jesse and Levi and Sean. Man, listen. The day I stepped foot inside the basement of that house, gears just switched. Click, click. I was like, oh, this is me. This is where I need to be at. And from that point on, them was my brothers, man. Them was my brothers. I was at their house every day. And the crazy part about it, no matter how late we was doing shit at his house, I never spent the night there.
Yeah, you don't have
to. I went back to the crib. But you know what? The next morning, bright and early, I was right back down there. Half the time ready rolling. Ready rolling. I ain't took no shower.
Right.
Ready rolling. Same gear from yesterday. Right back down there.
SG, yep. What year, right? So you got Gilbert, but then, between Gilbert, Levi, when did y'all, Ross, when did y'all like hook up?
Wow.
Because when did they move there?
And you know what?
I gotta get Ross, so I gotta get
some because that one right there, that's hard to tell, man, because I feel like I know him all my life.
Right. Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of pinpoint. It was after, because I met Sean first. And to be honest, it was a period of time that I didn't even know that they was brothers, because Sean stayed on Warren.
Right.
Sean stayed on Warren, and everybody else was on Evergreen. And I met Ross, and it was more so just him introducing me to this and introducing me to that, and why music is this and why music is that, why certain cuts go with certain cuts. That's what the vibe with me and Ross was on. It was more on the more intellectual side of music. Me and Levi was more on I can outdo you and you can outdo me, but in a friendly way, because we would just feed off each other.
Mm-hmm.
And with Jesse just amazed me all the way around, because he had a different approach for everything. And so when Jesse would would come in and actually spit verses and stuff like that, it was just like, we're gonna listen to what Jesse got to say, because me and Levi writing constantly. Me and Levi always boom, 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 boom. Jesse just chilling. Then Jesse would just, that's my verse. So you just listening to Jesse like, what he gonna say? What he gonna say?
Right.
So it was man, dude, that shit was like the light switch.
That's the same thing with me, because I know how I was introduced to the Haywoods, right? Which in turn, but like I said, your family has always been there, always known of y'all, like maybe the club or something, but I always known of y'all. But through the Haywoods, I was introduced to you, and kind of that's a different, but with Levi, we used to play football with Jody. And so when you young niggas playing football, who on their team. It was Coach Chester's son, and it was the dude Devin and Levi and Jody. Like, I knew who they was, you know what I'm saying? Because I would be at the game and shit. And then when Jody and them went to jail, right before Jody went to jail, he was out here in the street hustling hard, and he would pull up in the Bonneville 412s in the back, banging, right? And he would pull up playing Jay Skinny and Levi, the Man in the Mac, right?
Yeah.
Listen, And he like, you know, and I'm talking about this banging. And you'd be like, man, you know, like, what is it? He like, this Levi, nigga, this Levi. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I used to play football with, nigga, this Levi. You know what I'm saying? This Levi J. Skinny, nigga. Like, Jody was the biggest promoter on the planet. Like, he was going off like, nigga, this is the shit, right?
Oh, man.
So at some point, I ain't necessarily hook up with Levi at all. I just like, damn, these cats made some music. Like that shit was off the hook. Like, how the fuck they make some music? They rapping on a track. They on the tape? I heard them playing it. It was Jay. He said it was Jay Skinny and Levi on there. They was rapping. Like that blew my goddamn mind. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? So then later on down the road, when I had moved again up on Midlothian, kind of like, you know, it was back then. It was like out of the hood. We was in the hood,
right.
Here, and I was kind of out of touch. So I used to walk all the way down to the hood every day. And she used to live like the next street over on Justice. So I would walk past She's house.
Word.
With Rashid, and Rashid, number one thing he used to always say, like, man, you don't know Levi Haywood? I was like, well, I mean, I know him. He used to hang, because he was kind of like saying, like, man, you need to hook up with the nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so eventually I ended up hooking up with him. You know what I'm saying? And that was my introductory. Like when I first hooked up with Levi, the first thing I did was spit a verse, and the nigga took me to the attic and we recorded that shit.
Word.
That shit was ill. So you gotta figure how that is for me. At some point, I'm amazed that these humans are able to even do this shit. How the fuck do you guys get to put a record on that you put your verse on the tape and it's playing the guitar? Like, how, that's magic to me. And so, right? And so in the absence of whatever was happening in a few little years, I end up bumping into you, lyrics, and I get to write my rhymes. And how did we record? He pushed the button, he made the beat. This shit was amazing. It was like fucking Alchemist. These goddamn some shit in front of us. So it was like, that shit was crazy. But I know, I'm saying all that to say, I know from the day, you know, I came in the attic. You know what I'm saying? That shit changed everything. Like, I had a better appreciation on everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it gave me my ability to create. It showed me I can create. Everything other than that was like theory. I remember recording, like, you know how you record and the beat is playing over here.
Yeah.
You stop and play you record, and somehow made my own karaoke. You didn't want to even karaoke. I was going there on the instrumental, and then I recorded the instrumental. It was a too short instrumental, and I like recorded the instrumental part of it, and then I recorded it again, and I made a whole little thing.
Pause mix, man. Pause mix.
Pause mix. See? Yep. I did that shit. And then, right? So to actually do that in an environment where here's a mic, here's where we made the beat, here go this, we recording into there, and then we had the Mighty Rocky tapes.
Man, listen, let me tell you, it took us long to get to that point. There's a point that we was in the basement. You know, Mr. Gene used to cut hair when you first come down the steps, right? Over to the right. Over to the left was the other room. That's where the equipment was at. So we used to sit in there, have a mic. Ross and Sean would cut back to back, interlocked to create the beat that we was gonna rhyme to. We didn't have no rolling 808s, none of that stuff. That stuff started coming.
Wow.
But that's what we started with, that shit right there. And we was trying to rhyme to that. Then once we started getting the different equipment, you know, Jesse started gravitating to that. Of course, Ross was a master at that shit. Sean started learning it. Me and Levi was just writing. We got to the point where we would just be, that's by the time we started heading up in the attic, we would just be in that closet and you had to go all the way through your lyrics. It was no stopping down or nothing.
Right.
You had to know whatever you wrote. You can't read it off the paper. You got to know it because Ross wasn't letting us be in there. He's like, y'all, it don't feel right. So we had to learn that shit and we had to spit that shit nonstop.
Wow.
So anything that you ever heard us record, them is all one takes.
So that brings us to the new basics. when did y'all form that?
Man, it just kind of gradually turned into the New Basics.
But the so so okay, so what I'm experiencing right now in this whole putting out music thing is there's a portion where you kind of publish or make your art public works, and then you talk to magazines, or you, when did y'all start that kind of campaign of telling people, hey yo, because I know from the vlog I got the, like, it's a like a promotional picture with all of y'all on the step.
Oh, that's in Pittsburgh. That's in Pittsburgh.
So when you doing stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, like promoting and getting out there.
That kind of happened organic also. First off, we was just recording, right? Some of the stuff wasn't even songs. It was just long ass, just remind you of Too Short, a whole bunch of rap. Right. Ross used to call us lyrical kung fu artists because that's all we used to do is just rap. It was a whole bunch of techniques and shit. So it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe 80, 89 when we started structuring songs and stuff. Whereas we would actually give songs titles and have concepts behind them. And that's basically because Ross was like, yo, all y'all doing is lyric fighting. Like I said, me and Levi was always like, I could be better than you, but in a friendly way. So we would just be jousting on how we was, constructing lyrics.
Right.
And so Ross was like, y'all guys just lyrical kung fu. So we decided to start saying shit, And so then we started to formulate and structure songs, whereas, okay, it starts here, bridge, lyrics, bridge, you going first because your verse is more potent than that, and stuff like that. Before it was like his verse leading to my verse, leading to Jesse verse, then we'd take a break. And not saying that shit wasn't dope. That shit was dope.
That shit's still dope to this day. When you just said that format, I'm like, yeah, I want to hear that record. I want to hear
that was like that because it was all energy at that point. It was all energy, So we didn't care about it being a party song. We didn't care about it being, something for girls to like. Yo, we was just going in there. We wanted to hear some shit that was gonna make us do like this, and we wanted to spit to it. And then, eventually we became New Basics because we had different names. I think we was like Umoja or something like that first. I think it was Umoja. And then we just started gravitating away from that because it just wasn't us. It was New Basics. It was hip hop, but it was Youngstown style. You know what I mean? It was different than any other place. So when you heard one of our cuts, you'd be like, you're gonna tilt your head to, how your dog look at you stern.
Yep.
So either you're gonna get it or you ain't, type of thing. But for sure, it was gonna be very lyrical and it was gonna have a hard beat.
The most impressive thing that I learned from y'all and that I take away and I replicate every day and I try to is the rap format of abstract rap.
That's probably my fault.
It is. That's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. That's what I'm trying. That's the point of this whole live, L, is for me to give you your flowers, like Nori say, your flower for real, my nigga. That's what I took away from that, and thankfully that Levi was just a real motherfucker. He always like, nah, L, this, that, and I would have to really look at you and study, like, I get that shit. That's way doper than anything. Like for me, that is the style, because you got cats like Nas who write stories, and I'm not saying that he don't, but the ability to write a story and paint that abstractly is very beautiful painting. Like that's something you can sit and look at for years, find flaw or beauty, or like that's so fucking incredible. And not that this is a plus, this is probably a minus, but I feel like that's how I communicate with people the same way I rap, abstract. So I think you know what I'm talking about sometimes and you don't. So sometimes like lately in a business environment and even in my family structure, like my big brother be like, nigga, you don't know how to communicate. Didn't I just say this is what I said? Nigga, that ain't communication. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's a part of the thing, but
see, but look, I'm gonna tell you, for the most part, that's why my name was 10th Brother, right?
the 10th.
10th Brother, 10th BPM. So you know BPMs and DJing is the tempo of your record, right? And majority of records that you listen to is gonna be around, if it's hip hop, around 94 all the way up to like 103, something like that. So I took the name 10th Brother because I felt like I needed to slow down what I was saying for people to understand what I was talking about. And so that's why, like, for example, when I say shit like I'm ass naked on the ladder because I fuck shit up, and I gotta take a break and be like, wait a second. He said he ass naked on the ladder. Okay, so a ladder you climb up. And I say that I'm saying lyrically I fuck shit up. So that's just telling you I'm ass naked on a ladder, man. I fuck shit up. It's just shit like that we was talking about that was abstract and make you want to hold on. Let me see what he said again. Let me break that down.
Yep.
We for the most part we probably should have not had been like that because we probably would have went a little further. But it is what it is, yo.
That shit dope. and to be very clear, there was a part of time where I know the children of production, quote, what Sean dubbed them, the children of destruction, at what point was creating music that was considered dark, and that music at that time was not a part of something that people, not even that people didn't like. It was just something that they wouldn't push. You know what I'm saying? So you right on that note, but interestingly enough, my take on trap music, and hip hop as a whole, like the sound of trap music is kind of that dark where we was there.
Yeah.
A lot of strings and then not only that, the melodics inside of the rap singing of it kind of fits the pattern of that dark energy that, you know what I'm saying? So whether you feel like Cats is coming truly lyrical or not, it still falls in the cadence of that quote unquote dark music. So what's weird about that is I feel like that version of music is kind of like what it's a different version, but that's kind of like what they do nowadays. It's dark music.
The thing is, the Cats now, they're how do I say this before so folks don't think I'm tripping? There's a lot of it I like, there's a lot of it I don't like. I'll say that right off the top, but there is a lot of sensitivity in their music, and there's a lot of gravitation towards the same stuff. Beat wise, this shit is phenomenal.
Right. That's right? What I'm saying, right.
Beat wise is phenomenal. And it was what Sean was doing back then.
Right. That's what
that me and Levi we couldn't comprehend because we wanted this shit to snap.
Right.
Right? We wanted it like that. But Sean was on that. He was on that a long time ago. It was a mixture of like Mantronics and some syncopated shit. And the only difference with the Cats who they're doing it now and the way Sean did it, the stuff now is slower. It's love songs. It's slow songs with heavy drums. You know what I mean? So Sean was still, I say he was 85 somewhere in there with his tempos. So his stuff was real angry. With them slowing it, with them doing it slower now and adding the melodies from slow songs that people fell in love with, it kind of softens it out.
Right.
But yeah.
Yep. And that's what I always thought that back then, like when we was hearing it, we was like, yo, this shit is out of here. Like we loved it. We was like, oh, this shit is deep, especially, you know, on a regular basis. Him and Jesse too, but more Sean with the dark angle of it. But we knew it was something then, like, yo, this and then down the road you can hear that too. But meanwhile, that same energy from back then, what I like right now, like Nas just got the Grammy, right? You know what I'm saying? Nas just got the Grammy. And I think it's like a lifetime type of thing. I don't
lifetime achievement Grammy.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily for that work, because not to say that work ain't good, but in comparison, if y'all gonna give him the Grammy for this, y'all could have gave him 10 Grammys.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
I get that. I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, and to show that man some appreciation, I get that. But meanwhile, with J. Cole, with Kendrick, with I mean, we can go on for days. Even early as Earl Sweatshirt, Joey Badass, just a reemergence of rappers. You know what I'm saying? That follow that a format that's familiar to us. But where for me, where music is going to right now, I think it's still a play to be played, which is my approach with this whole 40-year-old rapper thing. But it's an area in there where it's, you know, boom bap is paint accurate pictures, but it does have an abstract to it. Now, along with that, now let's bring some actual, for me, let's bring some actual, not only street stories, but some painful, hurt, kill you, like some shit that people actually go through and paint that out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what my skill is. I'm not really, I can't say I'm not a party making song type. I can't really say that. I just like to make music. Who knows what will come out? But you know, what I'm saying? With that being said, where music is at right now, like I know a lot of people be down on the music, but it's, if you're an artist, it's about what you bring it to the table. So why are you even really mad at what the fuck they doing? What you know, every time I listen to, because they be like, you know, these cats nowadays, some of it is good, some of it is art. That's how music always been. Back in the day when you had, you know, you may not even been a huge fan of MC Hammer, but a couple songs we liked, but the Hammer wasn't like something we, right?
Yo, I got like 7 MC Hammer 12 inches over here, dog. Hey,
you ain't the one.
I'm gonna tell you, the first MC Hammer album, that shit was hard.
Right.
And I bought it from Palestine, the Arab store on the corner.
On the corner of Market and Glenhaven.
Yeah, I bought it from there. I bought that cassette from there.
Oh, he had a cassettes. Wow.
Yeah. I used to bang that shit. Let's get it started. Oh man, please.
Yep. Damn, that's crazy. But that's what I'm saying. Like at that time, you had good rappers and bad rappers. I ain't saying that Hammer was, but there's you know, there was good rap. There was damn he trash, and it was like that through the '90s, the early 2000s. It's always been good music and bad music, and even if you look at the numbers, it ain't like, oh, it's more whack rappers nowadays. Not really, because it's some dope ass motherfuckers. It's about the same number.
Yeah.
Back then. You know what I'm saying? So
it's just a matter of just switching the way you get at what you're trying to get at. That's all. You're not gonna get spoon fed like we did back in the days. You're not gonna get it. You're gonna get basically fork fed what they want you to hear. So you got to search out and seek what you want to hear. You can go through that rabbit hole all day long and find a new artist.
Right.
It's crazy, y'all.
So in the greater scheme of that, let me ask you another question. I got another question here. A couple more questions. Gang culture in Youngstown, or
hold on. Before we get into that,
okay,
you gonna get me in trouble with the spell New Basics.
Oh,
Levi gonna be like, man, why you ain't telling?
What I'm supposed to do?
New BASIX.
Oh.
It's all good. Just make sure you, because Levi don't get at me. Because Levi gonna get at me. How you gonna do the whole thing and you ain't even telling?
Oh, I fucked up. Boom. We made it.
That's it. All good.
No, so because that's my transition. The reason why I wanted to ask you that is because New Basics, right? New Basics, and the crazy part is it's spelled with an X. And we get into this X for the 10, we get into this X for a lot of different reasons, right? But that was a crossroads for me. So you got the music influence bumping into Levi, but at the time I was bumping into Levi, I was on some gang shit. And it was Levi showing me, hey man, you don't necessarily, because my first rap, I murdered somebody. Literally, listen, the first rap we recorded in the attic, somebody died. It was a murder that happened on the track. I kicked in the door, I shot him. Don't get me wrong, dope record, but Levi was like, you know, there's other, you can rap about rap. You know, rap, you don't have to just Like you try, and I don't think he was saying you trying to be a gangster rapper or you ain't cut like that, but he was saying that don't limit yourself to this one area of music.
Right.
So in turn, you know, we big believers in, you know, what you believe in and what you follow and what you believe to be true, right, will come true. And since I wasn't solely based on a gang mentality, it helped me. But that influence was from, you know, the New Basics, right? I mean, the actual record, and listening to that over and over again after knowing and talking to Levi and and then meeting L and then and then Sean and then like, because all of these pieces came separate. Ross became separate for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was unique relationships I had with each person.
Word.
And from that point of view, I got a little dose of more energy and a dose of more knowledge and this different point of view. You know what I'm saying? That changed my outlook on life, right? And so the X at some point for us stood for unknown, where we was in our little crew. Because you don't realize, I don't know if you realized or if you ever was at one of these parties. Remember, it was Six Pack and it was Sigma and it was D Train. So we started stepping at parties. Remember that shit? So Twinks dudes, so you had the Ready Rock Boys and all the Twink dudes formed their own little group, and it was called the X-Men. The X stood for the unknown, right? We had the Black Rags, though. So Black Rags transition, because you figure Sigma had the purple rags.
Yeah.
Right? So that leads me to this question for you, though, is when did you start noticing like gang culture and all that stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey man, it's funny because it's back way before that.
Right.
Those cats like the East Side Assassins.
Boom. Hey.
They used to show up with the trench coats and shit.
Hey,
the trench coats.
Donald. I was talking to Donald about that. And he mentioned the East Side Assassins.
Yeah.
Wow.
That shit was like, I don't know all the intricacies of what they did or what they did not do. My recollection is, this is me. I'm like sixth, seventh grade or whatever. Me and my boy Stone, we going to the parties that we shouldn't be going to. Recollections of people just yelling out, "This the assassins! The assassins is here! The assassins are here!" And then everybody just breaking camp, right?
Dang.
Just sheer chaos. No gunshots. No gunshots. They just came in and it was all boxing, face, just hand to hand shit. But when somebody said, "Yo, the East Side Assassins, they here, they on their way," cats would just break camp.
Wow.
Now, and I rewind that because I remember you know Chico Gardner.
Yep.
This is just one of the experiences with the East Side Assassins. Chico Gardner, he was in his car. Me and Stone was watching the shit unfold. We was down like on the other side of South High School. So, you know, on the other side of the field house, and there's always the parking lot across from the field house, right? And the assassins rolled up, and I'm seeing cats tussling, cats running, jumping off of cars, catching cats in midair, punching cats, blah, blah, blah. My older brother and them, by this time, they play for South, you know, and so they fighting the East Side Assassins. Wow. So I'm watching all this shit unfold, and me and Stone is like, what the fuck? What to do? What we do? Do we run? Do we go? We ducking behind a car, right? Picking up, seeing what's going on, picking up what's going on. And inside the car is Chico Gardner. He's just like, yo, get in the car, let's go. Wow. So we got in the car. He pulled us up out of there. Because like I said, we ain't had no business being in there.
Right.
And the shit was going, I mean, it was going down. I was like, yo, I don't know if you saw the movie The Outsiders. Yeah. Pony Boy and them was looking at Dally and them was in that big ass fight in the rain. Yo, it was like that. Wow. This shit was like real life shit. I was like, what the fuck? But no guns. But you fast forward to like, we in high school now, you know, cats is coming down from Detroit and that stuff is starting to unfold, and you start seeing people that you knew all your life, they starting to, you know, slide to this side of the fence, and you still on this side of the fence, and y'all cool, y'all still cool, and to this day, you know, even after the chaos, we still cool. Right. It's just that was the decisions that was made, and cats start slipping off to whatever side of the fence they was on. You know, cats that you was at the boys club with, you know, right. Punk Rock, Hannibal, you know, all these cats, they started to slide to that way, and that, you know, it didn't bother anybody, but the whole influx of the Detroit people, you know, we didn't, you know, you from Youngstown, you don't take kindly to that, folks coming into your city and taking over and stuff like that. So you had beef, not even knowing the weight or the danger you was in, or whatever you want to call it, you know, with that coming in. It was just like, you know, this is Youngstown. You can't just come over and take over Youngstown. So that causes this chaos that was happening. And I can't say that we was a gang or nothing, but we was cool. We were friends and everything, and we ended up tussling with cats for, I can't even tell you what reason. And then that shit just gravitates to other things, man. But I would never say that I was in a gang. I wouldn't even say that the cats from Detroit was in a gang. I wouldn't say that was that. Mm-hmm. I was just saying they was coming down to do what they came to do. And that's what, and the bad part about it, there was some cool dudes, man.
Oh, right. Yep.
There was some cool dudes. Yep. It's just that, it's just the fact that Youngstown, we defensive on everything. That's how we gonna go about it. Mm-hmm. Period. Either we're gonna accept you or we're not gonna accept you, and then it all depends on that first meeting.
Right.
But that's unfortunate. But I wouldn't call that gang culture. It wasn't until like I went to Pittsburgh and came back that I was like, oh, okay, this shit is different. You know what I'm saying? This shit is different. Now in high school, the guns start showing up. You know, there's been plenty of times we was on Warren Street and had to duck behind cars because cats flying down Hillman and knowing that we standing out there. But, you know, that's a whole part of the shit not many people know about. But, you know, hey, it is what it is on that. But like I said, the funny part is these cats is cool. These cats is real cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, for me, that early my early recollection of how it kind of all turned. So, like I said, and I explained it in the documentary, the influence came from what galvanized gangs influence came from the movies for me. You know, it came from Boys in the Hood. It started with Boys in the Hood. It started because the cool dudes who the movie opened up with, and this guy who got a record, and How to Survive in South Central. This main figure, first of all, he in a movie. We amazed that a hip hop dude is in a movie, and this guy, and he a Crip in the movie. Mm-hmm. At one point, he bump into the dude blood, and then they start talking, and then chick say, "Why can't we just get along?" Which was the right thing. Mm-hmm. Say, "Shut up, bitch." You know, say like, "Why did you say that? Why didn't you just be like, you right, kumbaya?" No, you would say, "Shut up, bitch," right? So then later on, niggas shooting the Uzi, same dude, they end up killing Ricky, and now you're mine, right? But you know, not solely based on the movie. I ain't saying that. I'm saying that that's how the two things looked at in my head as a teenager, a dude in junior high. So that's when I was kind of that. It was around junior high, right? So 6th grade, junior high, boom. And what I'm saying about that is, like you were saying, you know, people kind of started to break into their own little camps. Well, I seen them break into these camps though. So it was the Ready Rock Boys, D Train, and whatever. Now that's kind of like this area of cats that they either them or they little homies wear red rags, but not all of them. Some of them got blue rags, and they so it was just dividing cliques among cliques and putting two different. And that's when it really got bloody out here. I mean, we talking about
I'm out of town at this point. You know what I mean? Right. I'm out of town. I'm coming home on weekends and shit like that. Right. So, you know, I'm not watching everything unfold like you watching it at that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm in town. I'm spending time here. I'm spending time there. I'm hitting the club. I'm partying. I'm having fun. I'm right back out. Mm-hmm. So I'm missing. I'm being told about this shit, but I'm missing it. So that's important.
Right. So yeah, like I said, so that little angle right there. So we talking about, for me, I'm talking 91, 92,
Mm-hmm.
93,
Mm-hmm.
94, 95. Because
Mm-hmm.
95 was the deadliest time in Youngstown history, 68 murders. Last year we had 28 murders, and these motherfuckers were jumping off of bridges. Oh my God, it's too many murders. And I'm thinking like, nigga, hey, shit. And we were just walking around in 95. Like, well, shit, me and Levi smoking a blunt, walking down Hillman. Like, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's what's weird about it. But no, I just think it's an interesting question because, like you said, you wasn't here. So at this point, you DJing, you in Pittsburgh, and you got the show on the radio.
Right, 94, 95. Yeah. Yup.
Which how was that, real quick, if you don't mind telling us about it? I mean, you going to college at this point?
Mm-hmm. So I'm in college, you know, typical Youngstown dude. I ain't really all into the studies. You know, I'm doing what I need to do to get past, because that's what we do. You know, I know how much I got to put into it to get out of it what I want out of it, and that's what I'm doing. But I'm like navigating it, trying to figure out how I can utilize what I'm learning, what I know, and what I want to do. And so then I gravitate towards the radio station,
Right.
and I say, all right, well, shit, I know music, I love music, let's try it. So I started doing it. I started off just working with another dude, my man Black Steel, on his show, just doing portions of his show. And then I was like, you know what? Yo, your show is off at this time. I'm taking over from that time to that time. So my show ended up being like he was 9 to 10, I was 10 to midnight. And then sometimes we just went overtime and all that stuff, depending on how we felt and how we flipped it. My show was basically called the B-Sides, because with him having an earlier show, he had played everything more popular that everybody knew and broke all the new records. Sweet. So me, I had to take the approach of, okay, I'm going to play all the shit he didn't play and all the stuff that nobody would think to listen to. Mm-hmm. So that became my thing. So that shit was fly right there. I really enjoyed that. And that's how I got Levi and them to come up there. And then we started doing the parties and stuff, DJing the parties for the university. That shit was fly too. I remember I had Levi and them come up, and we ended up battling on air, cats from the other station down the dial. Because it was like a lightweight beef, because their shows was the same days as ours on Friday nights. So, they had their little crew, they had their little cats, little MCs and stuff. So we was like, all right, well, let's see who the best. Come up, we got the station, we got the mics, battle. We tore them cats up. They ain't know we came from Youngstown, though. They ain't know I brought them from Youngstown. They thinking we all from Pittsburgh or whatever. But we come from Youngstown, tear their ass up.
Wow. Incredible. Man.
That shit was bonkers. I mean, and that's the type of shit that led to the performing for opening for Roger Troutman and stuff.
Right. So how did that come about? Because I was just like, that was like, I mean, how, I don't know. I don't even know how.
Man, if you know about me, if I get to talking to people, I'm gonna find out what I need to find out from you. What you got going on, what you into, and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna say, well, look, I'm capable of X, Y, Z. And you got to prove to them that you are. And so I met this female. She was a DJ for Whammo, right? And so she was talking about, well, we're doing these shows and we're gonna have this and we're gonna have that. I said, oh, Roger Troutman? I said, well, look, I'm from Youngstown. That's all we listen to. So you should let us open up for him. We got our group and our flow and what we do. It'll lead right into that, which it didn't. You already know that, right? It didn't. But from me talking to her, she was like, all right, well, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and open then. I had other people in mind, but I'm gonna let y'all do it. was like, all right, bet. I'm doing all this shit without even talking to Levi and Jesse. Wow. Ross. I'm running off the jibs and shit, just making shit happen, trying to make shit happen. So I go home, I tell them, they ain't even believe me at first. So I had to convince them that this was the case. And then from there, we try to put together a quick show as quick as possible, as tight as possible. That was one of the things that after the fact, we should have actually built out the show a little longer, because we did quick 15 minutes, right? Quick. And then when we went back upstairs in the balcony, and I was sitting down talking to the lady who the DJ, and Portia Fox, that was her name, Portia Fox. And she was like, why'd y'all get off so quick? I was like saying to myself, like, we ain't know no better. This our you know what I'm saying? We winging this shit. Saying to myself, and I was saying, like, you know, that we don't want to keep people from, you know, getting to hear Roger. That's what they came to hear.
Right.
He said, but they wanted more of y'all. Blew that opportunity. So
wow. So that leads me to my question of how did it happen? So you said y'all put it together the last minute, and you know, ran through a 15-minute little show. A portion of the show was dedicated to a young up-and-coming rapper named Shay Love, who was supposed to have spit a rap, who did not spit a rap. Instead, I stood there with the mic, like, yeah, I was to nobody though. Wasn't nobody with the niggas looking at me like, what the fuck is you doing? Yeah, because here go what happened. Pick me up on Hillman Street. I am on the 400 block. I'm on Glenavia and Hillman Street. But I asked Jesse about, like, so I remember totally something different. In the vlog, I said it was you, Levi, Ross, and Jesse. But Jesse was like, nah, it was me, Eljay, and Ross. We picked you up, and then we went and picked up Levi. Then we went to Pittsburgh. So I don't really remember exactly how it happened. Do you remember how that happened? I do remember I was standing outside selling drugs at the time.
I'm on Jesse. I'm with Jesse.
Okay, so y'all,
because Levi was always you had to track him down.
Right.
And in the process of tracking him down, that's probably how we saw you.
Bumped into me, like, what the fuck? Where you at? Where Levi? I don't know, nigga. Get in the car. We about to go perform, huh?
Knowing me, I was there fucking early, like rushing cats and shit. Like, come on, man, we gotta get up here. That was me. Ross was probably like, where they at? Right. Jesse was probably just sitting at the crib chilling, right? So that's how us three get together. That sort of thing like that. Then we're looking for Levi. And, you know, we ain't got technology at that point. So it's a hunt.
Yeah, you got to hunt.
Well, he said he was going to be over so crib. We said, all right, well, let's dip down this street and check and see if he over here.
Yeah.
Probably how we ran into you, scooped you, found Levi, hit the road.
Yeah. It was that was one of the another thing that changed my life too, man. It may not seem like a lot, but ain't no telling what would have happened that night out here selling. I'm on the 400 block. I don't sell dope on the 400 block. I was on some bullshit that night. And y'all was like, nah, man, get in the car. And I got in the car, like, you got to rap. And I'm thinking to myself, not that I don't got to rap, but what the hell? Like, I don't believe, like you were saying, man, when I told them this, they probably ain't believe it was real. I ain't believe none of this shit was real. I'm like, oh, these niggas is just on some bullshit. Fucking, I'm arrived with them. I ain't supposed to be out here anyway. I done went out here and I got there and we about to do what? And the stage is right there. Like, I'm the whole time I think y'all bullshitting. And then we get on stage and y'all performing. I'm like, okay, these niggas for real. We really performing this shit. Then we went up the steps and was it Roger Troutman or something with a shiny ass, shiny on and shit.
Yep.
Listen, that was big for me, man. That's the first time I opened up a show for a major artist.
It's big. It's big for me. To this day, there's a lot of people don't even know that happened.
That's crazy.
Dude, to this day, people don't know that like we scooped you up. Ross, I don't know if you remember when Ross and them had the group Recreation. They scooped me up probably the day before and said, hey, we need you to learn these verses so you can do joints parts at this show. We opening up for New Kids on the Block. What?
Wow.
Okay. Dude, I did not know the lyrics. I just knew I had to get out at a certain point in time. So I'm up there, I'm freestyling.
Right.
Freestyling to this big ass massive crowd for New Kids on the Block. Getting through the songs. We was in it was another part of Ohio. I can't remember exactly where. It was another part of Ohio, but we drove. What year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. I wasn't even in college yet. So we talking this had to be 88, 89. Yeah, this had to be 88, 89. Yep, because I wasn't in college yet, and I was already to the point where I had skills enough to freestyle that long and multiple times. So it had to be around that time.
Man, listen, super interesting. We've been on here for an hour, but it's super interesting just to catch up with you and go through a couple of things. Like I said, for me, it has truly been a blessing to know you and to being your friend. Nah, for real, man. It's honest shit. Like Nori said, I'm giving you flowers while you're here, brother. But I appreciate you coming and talking to me, and I hope we could do this again on some other choppers, but just sharing with my audience, the few people that mess with me and is very interested in this 40-year-old rapper. What is this concept? How does this even work?
Word.
But just giving some history to them and sharing your story, because a lot of these things I'm completely unaware of, and I'm so appreciative that you actually knew the little T-shirt with the dude in the day, that because they used to sell them at the little African events where, like, I remember one was on Princeton at that church between Princeton and Indianola. It was like a festival or something there, and they had them shirts. For some reason, I remember it there, and I remember them shirts. But that was just something that at that time you was rocking the skating, and the DOC was out, like, around this whole little time. It was like a magical time, and fighting power, like, magical. But 1989, right? So again, man, I appreciate you sharing some of your experiences with me and others, and hope to do this again. I ain't gonna hold you up no longer. Is there anything you want to say to anybody? You got any social links or anything you got going on that you want to check them out? Any of your shows that you may have coming up or anything?
Hey, I'm fresh off of the Inside Story, the 4-part documentary on inside the NBA, talking about Shaq, Barkley, Ernie Johnson, and Kenny Smith. The story, all that shit that was on TNT. It's about to be on HBO Max. That's coming up probably first of next month. And then other than that, y'all catch me on the Fridays doing my thing, DJing, having a little fun. I'm sorry, I said Friday. Saturdays, man, 9 p.m. If y'all hit me on Instagram, y'all get all the info on that. The new content.
Saturday. And on, what'd you say?
Saturdays, my fault.
No problem. And on Instagram, it's at the new content.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure to leave that information in the description. New content, and I go follow this guy. Check him out. The new content on Instagram. My man Eljay, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
No doubt. Peace.